I had a couple of remarks I wanted to make, but I don't know much about the 21st century. That's this one, right? Still trying to figure out book publishing in the 20th century, and I didn't get very far with that. Many years ago, I was at a conference. It was probably an NCTE meeting in Washington, D.C. It would have been probably in November, and Seymour Simon and Larry Pringle, two fine nonfiction and science writers, were there. And they were on a panel, and they were talking basically about nonfiction. And Seymour was really steamed up about the idea that non is a terrible way to start off. And he wanted to start a movement to call these things true books, because it's too negative to put non in front of fiction. Well, he hasn't gotten very far, but I don't think he's forgotten it. Now, you know, at 83, he's too busy figuring out how to deliver what's dear to him, which is mostly what we call nonfiction, electronically, and he's been quite successful at that. One of my favorite writers, incidentally, I thought Melissa's, I never saw that model, and I learned a whole lot, and I can see that's quite daunting and worth doing. Larry Dane Bertner's a favorite of mine, and I was reminded a little while ago that he did something with nonfiction that was probably a little groundbreaking. He went and spent a week in a dwelling. I don't know if it's polite to call it a hut, that's about what it was, with a family of migrant workers. And Harry Lerner published that book. And Harry had the guts and the foresight to do that. And if you read Harry's recent memoir, that's one of the books he singles out that he was proudest of publishing. And I've watched Larry evolve and continue to break lots of new ground in what we call nonfiction. He did a few picture books in his day, and they never quite got there, but he got interested in BMX bicycles, and he did a little everything. Now I got to tell you about three Brits coming out of a bar, and then I'll quit because I know it's late. Somehow, when we were trying to expand a little bit at Highlights, I ended up going to Bologna, and I was learning about this phenomenon of 40% of our books being produced in UK factories by green-shaded, eye-shaded writers who cranked these things out. And a lot of those places were packaging houses. And once in a while, there's a packaging house that went from having, I mean, I never knew the size in what they call turnover, which is the same as revenue. Don't they call that turnover? But you could tell the size of a company if they had one booth, and then the next year they had two. And I think I'm talking about Dortmund Kinderspeak. And then they had 6, and then they had 14, and then they start going back the other way, imploding. It's just a cycle that happens. But anyway, we were looking at packagers to help us to do some things, and we met with some of these people with 2 booths, 4 booths, 6 booths, 14 booths. And then we met these people that came around with some, carrying a bag of things, and we got talking to them. Gee, we really liked them. And we thought, those would be people to work with. And they just seemed so down to earth and intelligent and all those things. And it seemed like we could trust them. But I don't really know how you can tell, because we didn't have much business, sadly, in the international market. But that night we saw 3 Brits coming out of a bar. One of them was Lionel, and his 2 partners, and actually it was La Beta, and it's a pizzeria, which means they make their own pasta and everything. And so we greeted them as they came out. We had a meeting with them that afternoon, and we went in, and we decided at dinner, we have found the people that we want to work with. If they go to this back street, backwater, low-priced pizzeria, that's the kind of company we want to be involved with. So that started a very long relationship between Highlights and Boyd's Mills Press, between Lionel and his 2 colleagues. And I am particularly happy to see all of you here tonight. And I know that Lionel is even happier than any of you, because he has, I think it was an understatement when he said he's dreamed of this for 5 years. And this is not some scheme to get rich quick. I have one of those. I run a foundation. It works best when the donor sends you a ton of money. But anyway, I am proud, Lionel, to see this work, and I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry I'm in the wrong century, but I'll be watching. I've been watching to see what happens, and wish you all success. Thank you.